Today we are going to be doing Bulgarian split squats, both for glutes and for quads. And we have Ifbb Pro, Laura Young here to demonstrate. What a perfect model for the job. All right, Laura, if you could demonstrate a glute biased Bulgarian split squat, please. You can see that Laura is keeping a perfectly vertical shin, which is very difficult to do with a split squat because you are kind of pivoting off a bench, and she is exaggerating her hip hinge as she goes down. Again, creating maximum movement at the hip joint. We're creating minimal movement at the knee joint, so we're taking the quads out of it, and we're getting the glutes loaded in a lengthened position down at the bottom, and then we're coming up to full hip extension to get a good contraction in the glutes. And that's perfectly biased towards her glutes and off her quads as much as you possibly can. There is always a contribution. If there is knee extension taking place, the quads are still going to contribute, but we've biased the stress as much as possible onto the hips. If we do the same movement, but we're now trying to stimulate her quadricep development, she's going to shorten her stride somewhat. She's going to keep a very vertical torso, and she's going to try and create as much movement at the knee as possible. So now you can see the knee traveling well out in front and over the toes. So we've reduced the movement at the hip, we've maximized the movement at the knee, and now there's a lot of force being created through knee flexion and extension, and as a result, we're getting great quadricep stimulus. So two very different ways of executing the same movement, which you can chop and change between depending on your goals and what you're trying to get out of the exercise. You can obviously load this. If you do want to load it for glutes, you can do so contralaterally. For quadriceps, you're probably best off loading in both hands, but it really probably comes down to personal preference and stability.